Welcome back to another episode of The Road to 2200. Here we go. I am 1879. My opponent is 1837, and we're playing a Queen's Gambit kind of stuff. Well, I guess just Queen's Pawn at this point. We'll see if it becomes a Queen's Gambit. Yeah. I like to do the exchange variation. It gets me into structure I know very well, which is the Carlsbad. This is generally considered a mistake because, boom, we get to kick the knight and have a giant center. That sounds great. I don't see this very often, though, so to be perfectly honest, I'm now kind of like, wait, what do I do now? It seems like some options I have are to go here to back up the pawn, but then we're getting into like some sort of Nimzo situation. I could just move forward yet again, but then they go there, which, I don't know, does that really fix my issue? I suppose I could go here and just hit the knight, and then if they try to kick, I could just take, and then I still have this enormous center. So I'm kind of at a loss here, and it feels ridiculous that this early I don't really know what to do. I could also do simple things like this or this. So how do I want to handle this? For some reason I'm thinking this is the right move, because then I kick him, he moves again. I would go here, I think. If they take, well, that's fine. I have an even bigger center. So I think I'm going to do this, but certainly after this game, this is a point of reflection, right? Do we really not know the opening well, even this early on, that my opponent can make a, quote, mistake, and I do not know how to react to it? I guess the issue with this move is exactly the same issue as before. So maybe I don't rush into that. Maybe I castle first, get out of the pin, and then move him. So right now, nowhere the knight is going is too scary. This is probably the scariest. I can't do that much with it. I'm tempted to go here and develop this bishop. And I've just developed the bishop. Okay, wait, I guess there's a worry. If I go here and they go here and I go here, then they can do the sneaky queen maneuver from my chessable course. And then when I go here to back it up, they could go here. Is that fine? Maybe I just do something weak like this. Another part of me is like, just go here and threaten this knight. But I think I'm going to go here. And I guess let's see how this shakes out. I think it's fine if we go here, here, sneaky queen, go here. Maybe not. Maybe I lose a pawn in that line. We'll have to look at that also later. Okay, I'm just going to take. That's fine. And then I'm going to castle. And, you know, I'm ready to play. I've got a pretty big center. I'm going to go here with a knight. And we'll see what happens. The reason I don't like this is a backwards pawn right now. That, you know, feels like pretty soon they'll be able to just double up on it. And then I'm really having to... Like, I'm claiming, look, I've got this big center, isn't it amazing? But at the same time, I'm having to spend a lot of resources to back it up. What I'm also recognizing as I'm playing this is a structure I am really not comfortable in. And I don't know, I'm feeling awkward about this game. So we'll see. We'll see if that leads me into some bad choices and some bad directions. Okay. It was a tough choice for them. I don't know. It's a hard choice because if you try to put the knight here, you can't move this pawn anyway. We're gonna castle. We're gonna try to solve all of our problems if we had any, and now we're just gonna play. I think almost certainly I'm gonna go here. Question is, where are the rest of the pieces going? I think that's important to think about. Bishop may end up here. The problem is this bishop currently, right, there's not a lot of squares. Also, putting the bishop behind either of these pawns doesn't seem that wonderful. Going here doesn't seem great. It's impeding the queen's backup of that, and its scope isn't great. Going here doesn't seem good. Okay, now this is taken away from us. We're going to go here and see if my opponent wants to take here and give me the even bigger center. If they do, I think I'll be pretty happy with that. But okay, that's an interesting idea, is to back up that knight. So now I'm not able to get rid of it. but I'm not sure that I was super worried about getting rid of it. The question is what to do with this bishop. Also, I've got this interesting idea. After takes would currently work. It could go here. No. Yeah, they could go there, I suppose. Which I think would work very well for me if they took here and then this backwards pawn was no longer exposed. The question is, if I come out this way, I'm kind of... Okay, there's a couple things happening here. I'm kind of relegating my queen over here. I'm also looking like... This feels like a decent attacking situation. All the knights have moved over here. This knight is very bad, right? So there's a part of me that's like, maybe I no longer even want to offer this trade. Because after they take here... Well, I guess maybe I could push immediately. The knight has to get sent back currently to basically here. I do have to worry about that pawn now, which maybe is annoying. But I'm really wrestling with a couple different things. Like, do I go here and start some business over here? Or do I say the king side looks kind of barren? Maybe I make that my focus. Like, I could go something like here and here. And then if they take, I guess I don't want to trade everything over there either. I could do something like move the knight and start pushing this pawn and try to crack the game open and claim that you don't have enough defense over there. And in order to do that, I could do something like this. This knight looks even stronger. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But the first question is, do I want to leave this here and allow this trade to happen? And I think I'm going to. I'm going to let that trade happen if that's what they want. And before I move this, is there anything they can do? I wasn't looking at their moves at all. I don't really see that much for my opponent, actually. I'm going to go here with the idea that I'm going here, here, and doing that kind of stuff. I guess maybe my opponent could go here and like do something now that I'm not guarding that square, but I think I would just play like that and be pretty happy. There is still the chance my opponent could castle queenside, which would be annoying. Okay, they did not. So I think it's time to just continue that plan. I think I'm going to go here, and then maybe there immediately. And I think this knight is going to end up there. Okay, let's just go here. Let's see what happens. We're shaking it up. I usually don't play sort of this aggressive this early. I tend to play a little bit... Okay. So that is a huge error, right? So I didn't even consider what squares am I leaving weak, and I'm clearly leaving this square weak. This knight has been such a... just hasn't been on my mind at all this game. So that was a just an atrocious move that probably loses the game. Probably loses the game. This is really all I can say. We're going to go here. It does allow the knight to go on the other square. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do here. Okay, so that was awful. That was just truly, truly awful. I'm hitting this pawn, which, so what? I don't think that's going to matter. I'm trying to decide. I kind of want to take with the king so I have this threat remaining. They can just cover it like that. But it does give me a free move to maybe stick this knight in here. How do I want to take this back? There's also the idea of going here and here. But I think even more I want my knight here. Well, if he's here, it does threaten, like when I push there, then I can take back that way. So maybe I can do this. I'll go like this, and then push. And now I've given up another pawn. Okay. Really, this one is really falls apart. Okay. Wait, was I guarding that pawn with that guy? No. Okay, it's just when you make a bad move, it tends to be that everything falls apart. It's really what it comes down to. Okay. I mean, I've at least developed this piece in the process of kicking the queen, it means most likely I'm going to win that pawn if I want it. But I'm down quite a bit of material. I'm not sure claiming that pawn is the thing that leads me to victory. Okay. Some very clever ideas of like here giving this up to check and winning the queen, but there is no check. Right. That was the first thing I thought of though. Like, oh, is there a cool check there? No, there's literally nothing. That's not good. Okay. Yeah. So what are we doing here? We are going... The problem is this double tax my pieces also. Like, it just keeps kind of going from bad to worse. But I can bring him over. And then when takes... I really would like to go here, though, is the issue. And then I can't go there right away. Yeah. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this guy over. And I am just going to bring every piece over to the king. And say, we're going to do this Morphy style. Paul Morphy style. You can have all the other stuff if you want. You can have everything on the queen side. But if I can checkmate you, because all of my pieces are over here, and your pieces are all over here, then I'll be able to win. Is this going to happen? It seems very unlikely. Like, this seems like very much an unlikely scenario. But it's kind of what I'm left with here, right? Like, there's been enough misplays where I don't know what other options I have. I'm also a little tempted to give up this rook and just be like, we don't even need that rook. Because we're going to go here. You take the rook. I'm going here. You take, check, takes. And is this just a perpetual? Check, here, check. Wait, so here, takes, here, takes, here, takes. What if I go here and they don't take the rook and they just take here first? Does that mess up everything? Probably does, right? Then I'm taking with the queen. Then they're getting a free rook. And then it looks like I have nothing. Like, just absolute nothing. But if I have nothing to start with, then maybe offering this at least is best. What if I go here first? Check. They just move. Maybe at that point I can go here, threatening mate. Maybe they go here. And then I think I lose. I guess the question is, am I getting too desperate too fast? So here, check, moves. Rook is coming here next. That won't work either. If I move the rook, do I just lose? I guess is the question. Like, if I could get the rook to here right away, I would feel much better. I'm going to do this. I think this loses, but I think I'm lost anyway. So this is one of those moments of, like, when you've lost, like, you got to take a shot is kind of my mindset. It's that tricky thing of trying to decide, when am I lost? Okay, that was a very interesting idea. Taking there. And then also getting this pawn. So yeah, so things have really gone from bad to worse, because now when they take, if I don't take, the knight hangs also. So, and if I go here, it still go there. Well, I guess then I can go here, and get the piece back. And if I go here, let's say it takes there. Here. I think here, I would probably just move the rook. Alright, I don't know. This game's over. Well, this this game's done. There's really nothing we're doing anymore. I probably shouldn't have made that play in the first place, but we lost this game a long time ago, unfortunately. Yeah, and then after that, I'm going to be dead. So yeah, I don't see much of anything I can do here. Here. There's nothing clever to be done. Took my shot, and I think it was not enough. I'm going to go here with some wild ideas of like take here or something, and I don't know, try some discovery nonsense. I'm in big trouble. That's really the bottom line. I think this just wins. I think that probably just ends it. Okay, interesting. Bringing the knight over. Seems reasonable. Now all the pieces are back, right? So now I'm very much dead. Before I was dead, and now it's like over. I cannot trade off all the pieces. That's just not a tenable idea. If I go here, drops a piece. I go here, drops a piece. I don't even see anything anymore. Go here, I guess. We got a check. Woo! This game is over. This is a very frustrating game. I felt like right from the beginning I said that I just didn't feel comfortable, even though my opponent made an apparent error. It just wasn't one that I felt comfortable taking advantage of. I assume here, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, and I will not be able to get some ridiculous checkmate. My opponent will not play that badly. Also, I guess they can't get this diagonal. So this is the next move, and then I resign shortly after. I imagine maybe even there. Okay, I'll go here. Threatening mate, not actually threatening mate because there's a piece there, but soon enough maybe. So they're going here, and then they're gonna go here. Okay, that seems reasonable. Also, no, I don't have enough pieces to do anything. That's really the issue. I'll go here. And look, this knight never came back into the game. It's just been out of the game forever. What did I just do? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, the game was over a long time ago. Alright, we'll resign there. Alright, what in the heck happened? I mean, we know what happened, right? We know I got forked, and then the wheels came off from there. But I am just curious, even this opening, this is, a mistake. And the question is how to best take advantage of that error. So e5 is not the best way. The number one move in every database is knight c3, which is the obvious move, right? That is the move where I was like, yeah, this has to be right. But I didn't like this move because this loses the pawn. So I do have to immediately come up with another move, and this would be a very reasonable one. And if here, then I think, the computer says I'm up 2. My middle, my center is so enormous and so awesome that I have a winning game already. So they come here, go here. They'll do something like this to fight for the center right away. We just push him away. And again, if he takes, well, then we get a big center and things are golden. And if they say take here, how do we best handle that? Computer says the best way is to go like this. And then I imagine they would take. We have something cute here with this. Doesn't look like it. We are down a pawn temporarily. The computer says it's totally fine to take, but what about castling? That's really interesting, but what if they just castle back? Okay, then we take, and we're just... what's very interesting is this is even material, and the computer says that white has an advantage of 2. That's a really, really big advantage for... Like, if I just glanced at this, I would be like, ooh, this is a weird position. Like, white has these weird pawns here. Like, I don't know. I would be tempted to call this pretty even. Materials even. it's fascinating to me that white has a crushing lead. So we're just going to go through some best moves. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So let's say they go here, right? Making a sensible move. We go here, kicking the knight. The knight comes back. What? This is +5. What is happening? How do I not know anything about chess? Okay, so in this particular move, that is a bad move, right? Because there's no way to cover that. So okay, I can see why that's +5. Let's say they don't make a ridiculous move. They go a natural knight development move. I guess everything the knight gets kicked, and that's really where the issues start coming in. So knight moves over. We go here. Knight goes over. And now it looks like, and I think this is what I was missing, is that there's this motif of like the check here, 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 here stuff. And this is just one of those motifs, the sacrificing of the bishop on the pawn when you can bring the knight in and the queen in to follow. So that's just a very normal attacking idea that, you know, was present and I wasn't even aware. All right, but that's not even the line we went down. Because I went this way, which is not the best idea. And the engine's just like, what are you doing? You've thrown everything away. You're just playing an equal game now. Why did you do this? And everything's still equal, and then I got very clever and did that. So, yeah, this just loses, right? And we saw why. Because in addition to everything else, it's like my pieces are wonky. They got another pawn, and there's just... It would have been very, very unlikely for me to pull a win out of that. But here it's a dead equal game. Everything is fine. This move is fine. I was looking at that. I wasn't looking at this, but this is fine. This is a move that I liked quite a bit. That's totally fine. Everything's fine. And in fact, this would have been a great idea to do first, because now you can't go in there. So by having my knight in this weird spot, it kind of messed everything up. And why is the knight there again? Oh, right. This is my second move with this knight, because I so wanted the knight there. So if I had just sort of executed my plan properly, everything would have been fine. Instead of, you know, throwing away the game in 1 second. So if I had gone here, maybe they go here. Now I can push F4, I think. The computer does not love that move. It doesn't hate it. And now, you know, I've got a little bit of an attack going. What if I just continue trying to force it? The computer does not like... Oh, no, this doesn't work at all. So maybe now I have to add another something to that. And let's say my opponent goes here. Probably wouldn't do that, but now can I push this? Even still, the computer's like, this is not the way. This is not the way. Interesting that the computer really doesn't like it. Like, it thinks it's -1, and I guess it's because we have this kind of stuff. Like, this knight is sort of coming in everywhere. We haven't even developed this bishop yet. We could now develop it. Takes, I don't know, I kind of like this best. Then here. Then what if I come over? That's -2! Oh, I guess this is falling, and then with that, this will fall. So, yeah. Basically, there's not a lot to say in this game. It's just a really simple thing of, like, you gotta keep track of your opponent's pieces. It's really just as simple as that. For some reason, I think it's because I had just decided that this knight was about this trade, and then this knight coming in. I think I, like, somehow just put the knight out of my mind and was like, that knight doesn't matter. In fact, that knight basically doesn't even exist. It's not hitting anything interesting. This is backed up. It is fine. And by not seeing a very, not even like a 2-move tactic, just a move, a singular move, blows everything up and the entire game ends. So, one of the maddening things about chess, right? If you miss just one single moment, the game might end. And that's the end of that one. So, hope you enjoyed that. Couple takeaways for myself are, you should probably know your opening more than, what is this? Move, like, especially on move 5, if you have a move that you know is winning, like it's really good, you gotta know why it's good, right? You can't just be like, hey, I looked at an opening book and it said this move wins. And I was like, okay, prove it. And you're like, I can't prove it. Then that's kind of a problem. Well, now I know. I don't think I'll ever forget now that this is the follow-up. And then if this, I will just go here. And if they take, I'll just brag about my big center for the rest of eternity. So there we go. Now I learned something actionable from this game. And that's like the last big takeaway from this game is that when you lose, if you can learn something really actionable from it and never forget it as a result, I think that loss is worth it. So this is one of those very rare losses where I'm like, okay, I can accept that I lost because I learned something really useful. Now, had I gone on to win this game, it's unlikely I would have learned this lesson as well. This is not why I lost, right? This is absolutely not why I lost. I had a perfectly even game and lost on a ridiculous one-move blunder. But because I lost, this idea will be more cemented in my mind. So, hopefully you learned something. I know I did. I'll see you next time. Have a good one, everyone. And I hope you're enjoying the road to 2200.